Hey, forget the introductions. Lately, there's been a comment that's been on my mind, and oh my god, it's been killing me. And for my whole life, I thought I had the thickest of skin. You know, I can take a joke. You can call me whatever you want, and I probably won't bat an eye. But this one comment stuck to me like glue. This man said, and I quote, "Bruh got the Black Star profile pic and don't got one Soul Eater video." Who the hell this nigga feel like being so right? He's making me feel like a fraud, bro. I don't like this feeling. This man put me in a tough predicament. I can either delete his comment and act like none of that shit ever happened, or I could just make a Soul Eater video. Hey, before I start yapping, let me give Soul Eater its praise. In my biased list of favorite anime, Soul Eater is top 5 for me, and that's saying a lot with the amount I've watched. But I can't sit here and lie. It has its flaws, just like every other piece of media, except for Vagabond. That shit is perfect in every way, shape, and form. I know it's a Soul Eater video, but damn, go read Vagabond, bro. The one thing that I think went wrong with Soul Eater was the ending. And I'm not gonna talk about the ending in this video, but I felt like I should let you know. The manga and the anime have 2 completely different endings. And I bet you there's somebody out there that likes the anime ending better than the manga, but me personally, no. But for now, let's just focus on the revival of the Kishin. It all starts when a certain witch named Medusa infiltrates the DWMA. The DWMA is just a school that Lord Death created. He made it for the young like meisters and weapons to level up. Now Medusa, that's just a bitch that caused trouble. She loved trouble. Like, be for real, she looked like she bite niggas. She got into the school by getting hired into the school nurse position. And if I'm being for real, I would have been there every day with a tummy ache. For the most part, she was just doing her job, regular schmegular, you know what I'm saying? In the morning, she would just do her job, but the moment it turned night, it got spooky. One of those nights, Maka and Soul ran into one of her subjects, Crona. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? I've watched the show 3 times and I still don't know. Crona's also known as a demon sword. And unlike everybody else, she doesn't have a partner. Her weapon is inside her body. And I have no idea who I hate more, her weapon or Excalibur. If you don't know who Excalibur is, take that as a blessing. Crona also has something called black blood. And black blood is low-key a cheat code. It makes you stronger, faster, more durable. You can heal 10 times faster. And on top of all that, you can use it as a weapon. But there is a side effect. It makes you clinically insane. And I'm talking about early Gara insane. Soul and Maka stood no chance against Crona. And in the end, Maka almost died, but Soul stepped in and took the hit. And this let black blood get into Soul's bloodstream. The person that treated Soul after he got injured was none other than Medusa. This crazy bitch was using Soul as a test subject. She started monitoring him to see what the black blood does to him. In the beginning, Soul was just having dreams about this weird little devil man in a clean ass room with a piano. And y'all know me, I give credit when credit's due. Every time he was in that room, Soul looked clean as f. Look at the fit. You can't tell me this man ain't stepping. After a little while of chilling, Medusa finally put her main plan into action. But she didn't want a solo queue, so she built a team. The first member of this squad is Aruka Frog. Aruka didn't choose to work for Medusa. Medusa put 1,000,000 snakes in her stomach and had the audacity to tell her, every task you complete for me, I will remove 1 snake. Medusa put her ass in a 360 deal of hell. Those snakes gonna be in her body till the day she dropped. The first mission Aruka had was to break the second member out of jail. And I'm convinced Okubo was high as hell watching X-Files making this character, because the second member of the team is an immortal, magical werewolf. Bro really put 3 of the most cliche topics into one character. And he was like, oh yeah, this one original. After gathering everybody on the team, Medusa finally starts finalizing her plans. Professor Stein was getting real suspicious of Medusa though. He sent his buddy Sid to go check out her house. When Sid got there, he found plans to revive the Kishin, and it was going to take place during the DWMA anniversary party, which was happening in the next few days. While Sid was in there snooping around, he set off a trap, and the whole building blew up with him inside. When the werewolf broke out of jail, Maka and Soul were the ones that fought him, and like Black Star and a whole bunch of other people. But Maka and Soul, they used soul resonance. And when they used that, the black blood got into Maka's body and she coughed up black blood. The next day at school, Maka went to Medusa to ask her why she coughed up black blood, because you know, she's a school nurse. Medusa tried to act stupid. She like, oh, I don't know. She ended up handing Maka some pills and said this would help. And you know damn well that bitch lying. Maka said good looks and she walked out the office. And then Professor Stein walked in. He started pressing her immediately. I just took these pills from Maka. What the hell is that? I never seen them before. Medusa starts getting mad as hell, but she answers the questions. And she said some dumb shit like, oh, it's to help her blood flow. And even though that nigga Stein didn't believe her, he said, oh, really? Stein wasn't done with the conversation though. He asked her another question. Hey, why you so interested in Maka and Soul? If I ain't know any better, I'd start to think you was a bitch. My fault, I meant witch. This had Medusa shook, but she played it smart, I ain't gonna lie. She acted like she thought Stein was making a joke. She told him it was mean and Stein just laughed it off. The day of the anniversary party is finally here. But since Sid never came back, the information never reached them. So they have no idea what's about to happen. All the kids came back fitted. Maka looked tough. Soul looked tough. Tsubaki put that shit on. Black Star tried to put that shit on. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not a fan of this one. You tried it at least. Everybody's enjoying the party. Lord Death gives his little speech. People are dancing. The music is fire.
Music is fire.
Hey, whoever drew this shit needs to be hit with a hate crime. Bro, is that 3 strands of hair on his head? So far, everything is normal. Nothing out of the ordinary is happening yet. But Medusa's henchmen are working in the background. There was one person at the party that was 10 toes though. He was staying on guard, and that's Professor Stein. He was all weirded out because Sid never came back. He walked up on Medusa, chugged the whole beer, then he dragged her ass onto the dance floor. While they were dancing, Stein told her ass he knew what she was. He told her to drop the act. He knows she wants to revive the Kishin under the school. Medusa couldn't lie anymore, and she knew that. She told him she would have killed him if Lord Death wasn't here. Stein master freak, and he said, shit, let's get started then. And if y'all ain't know, Stein is just as crazy as Medusa. He just got saved before he turned into her. Medusa tried to use that to her own gain. She said, join me, bro, you crazy scientist just like me. We love science. Stein was shook. He didn't say a word. Medusa didn't say anything else. She just leaned in for a kiss. And I can't lie to y'all, I probably would have folded. Right before they kiss, we see this black lightning coming out of Medusa. And just by that, we know this bitch ain't up to no good. And in the nick of time, we see Sid come in and tell everybody, get the hell out the building. Everybody runs to Sid to help him. Bro, look at the Black Star, bro. Sid told them everything that he saw in that lab. But the most important piece of information was the Kishin revival was happening today. And when Stein heard all this, he went to look at Medusa and try to stop her. But that bitch was already out of there. The next scene, we see somebody on the roof straight farming. Brother, you are not Piccolo. The cape comes off and we see it's the magical werewolf. He starts casting a spell and the whole room starts shaking. And since Sid already seen the plans, he knew what he had to do. The room starts shaking even more now. And right outside, a magical square starts to appear. When the square appeared, the key came with it. The key was about to close it, but right before it could, Sid locked in. He used his power to help the professor and the kids escape. Werewolf Man locked the box and whoever's stuck in there is stuck in there. Even Lord Death. They fell down to a lower level of the DWMA. Then Stein told them about the Kishin sleeping under the school. Can y'all imagine how scary that shit is? Imagine the literal devil is under your school. Y'all haven't even seen the way this nigga looks yet. Bro, just wait. Now it's all up to the kids and the professor to stop the revival from even happening. And if I'm keeping it a buck, there's only one competent duo, and that's Soul and Maka. Even though Black Star's my GOAT, I can't lie. That nigga's a tweaker. He thinks he's the greatest there ever was, and he just rushes into shit. Sometimes it's not a bad thing. Now, Death, the kid, there's nothing wrong with his partners. You know, his twin pistols, they look hard as hell. Nothing wrong with them. But he himself, he's also a tweaker. If you show him something that's not symmetrical, he's gonna lose his mind. Before they get to work, you know they had to get fitted again. And Lord Death felt like he should tell everybody about the Kishin. Everybody was shocked. No surprise there. What really surprised me is the Kishin's backstory. The Kishin used to be a part of Lord Death's squad. He was an emo dude who wrapped scarves around his face and wore 5 layers of shirts. His name was hard though. His name was Asura, and he was by far the strongest in the squad. He ain't trust nobody though. Bro was really paranoid at everything. He the type of dude to get misunderstood tatted. I want you guys to realize the kind of man we're talking about right now, cause he might sound like a bitch right now, but trust me, this nigga is a menace. He got consumed by power, and eventually he broke the #1 rule, which is you can't collect any human souls. He ain't listened to that shit. He collected them by the boatload. And because of that, he turned into the source of all madness, the Kishin. And that's not even the worst part. Usually only weapons can eat and collect souls. But this man is so insane, he ate his own weapon, and that gave him the ability to do it. Lord Death was the one that beat Asura the first time. He wanted to seal the man, but there was nothing strong enough that would hold him. Do y'all want to know what Lord Death used? He tore Asura's skin off and used it to make a bag strong enough to hold him. And just to be extra careful, Lord Death fused his soul into the city, which means he can never leave the city. He literally is the city. We cut to Soul's weird little room with the little devil, and he's trying to convince Soul to accept the black blood. Soul wasn't going for none of that though. There is one more member of Medusa's squad I completely forgot to mention. I know I said one, but it's like 5 little mouse witches, and they're all just bombing the city. Baddie Blair was just walking to go get her fish, and she thought all this bombing shit was part of the party. When she reached her fish plug, this man was under a pile of rubble. How did he get like this? Instead of saving his own life, he saved the fish for Blair. Blair got mad because her fish plug got hurt, so she kicked one of the mice out the sky. Maka's dad links up with them because he's Stein's weapon. And this man is one of the biggest perverts you'll ever see. Maka hates this because he kept cheating on her mom. The crew hears footsteps walking towards them. Then we see Toes walking out the shadow. This scene would have had Noah riled up. His ass would have put that shit in slow motion. It turns out to be Medusa, and she wasn't letting anyone pass. Stein wasn't pressed at all. He started making a plan right in front of her. He's gonna stay and fight Medusa, and the kids have to run past her. Since Kid has a skateboard, he's gonna zoom past everything and go after the people with the black blood. Blackstar is gonna fight Crona and keep him busy. And Maka will run past Stein, run past Blackstar, and then meet up with Kid and help him fight. Now look, the plan sounds good on paper, do not get me wrong. But before they can even put it into action, everybody has to get past Medusa first. Medusa starts her attack, and Kid gets past her with ease. Blackstar uses his enchanted sword mode and fights his way out. Maka had the most trouble though, cause she's the only one left. Everything is aimed at her. The only route she can go is down the middle because the arrows are coming from the sides. She has to channel her inner Saquon Barkley and rush down that middle. Knowing me, I would have been overthinking and got myself killed. Maka locks in though, and she ran fast enough to make it. Medusa tried attacking her again, but Stein broke her back. Maka's horny ass dad starts talking about how good Medusa would look naked. Stein had a flex on him. He was like, oh yeah, she danced with me, nigga. They weren't taking this shit serious at all. And they're not taking it seriously because when Stein hit her, he sewed her feet to the floor. With Medusa not being able to move, Stein rushed her and hit her with a gut shot. When she hit the wall, Stein sewed her there. He tries rushing her again, but Medusa put an arrow right below him, and it sent him flying the other way. This is where Medusa starts to lock in. She freed herself from the sutures, landed on the arrows she put on the floor beforehand, got sent flying towards Stein, then she spawned 3 more arrows and hit him with the huss huss huss. Now let me see that one more time. Look at Stein, his head can't keep up. She tried spawning another arrow under Stein, but he acts fast. He sewed himself to the floor so he wouldn't get sent flying again. Medusa thought he was a sitting duck, so she attacked. Stein removed the sutures though, and it sent him flying towards her. And right when he was about to attack, Medusa countered his shit. She tried seducing Stein again. She's like, remember when we almost kissed? And then she tried to hit us with the ooh-woo. Bitch, we not buying that. When she found out Stein wasn't going for any of that, she spawned like 50 arrows around them. We cut to where Crona's supposed to be posted. Kid zoomed right past her and she didn't even notice. Then my goat walked in and he tried to make some conversation. Hey, no disrespect, are you a boy or a girl? It don't even matter for real, my hand's bisexual. Well, fuck you too then, I'm just trying to make convo. I don't even care anymore. Yo ass probably from Thailand anyways. Before they can even start fighting, Maka runs in. She tells Blackstar f the plan. She trying to get her rematch. Blackstar a real ass so he like, yeah, go ahead, do you, bro. He runs off to go meet up with Kid, but Crona wasn't trying to let him leave. She tries swinging her sword at him, but Maka comes in with a punch and stops him. Maka wanted more though. She came back with another punch straight to the face. Look at how far back his head went. I know that shit gave him whiplash. Maka started piecing this dude up with one hand, and to finish the combo, she pulled him in closer and then drop kicked him. That shit had to hurt. Look at her shoes. That shit is a size 15. And obviously, Crona is laid out for a little bit, but then she hits us with this creepy ass smile and stands right back up. And now I can finally show y'all this. Crona's weapon finally decides to show itself, and in the beginning it started looking like he was gonna be the toughest guy of all time, but then we see his face and then he just looks goofy. He talks his shit for a while, then returns back into Crona. Now it's time for round 2 and these two are fired up. Before the fight starts though, it cuts to Stein and Medusa, and we find out Crona is Medusa's child, like blood child, and just as you would expect, she's a terrible parent. We'll get more into that later. The fight is starting. Crona cuts herself and sends black blood towards Maka. Maka dodged it easily, but Crona didn't want to give her any time to recover, so she tried to slash her right away. Maka blocked it pretty well, but then Crona turned her blood liquid and it dripped onto the floor. Then she turned it into spikes and Maka reacted beautifully. She got out of there quick. Crona got Maka on the ropes in the second round, and she just wanted to end it right here. Then he pulled out this funky ass stance. That shit is ass, bro. Who taught you that? And to make things even more nasty, his sword starts screaming. Then this dude sends out a Gessiga Tensho. Bitch, are you a Soul Reaper? By the time it reached Maka, it quadrupled in size. But Maka was ready for it though, and she attempted to block it. But that's easier said than done. She blocked it pretty well, but it still did damage. When Maka got back up, she instantly tried to attack Crona. And I don't know who she thinks she is, but you're not her. Crona blocked that shit like it was a foam noodle. And the little blood that came out, she used it to attack Maka. Maka was done playing games. She was getting toyed with, so she put out the only thing she could, her ult. Her and Soul started using Soul Resonance, and they powered all the way up. Crona didn't sit and watch though. Her nasty ass weapon started screaming and they both resonated too. Maka pulls out Witch Hunter, and I don't remember what Crona called her shit. I don't even care for real. I'll say this though, I'm a big fan of how Witch Hunter looks. That shit look clean as f. Maka starts attacking Crona, but Crona's eating them bitch. I ain't gonna lie. She even gave her the stank face. And when it was Crona's turn to attack, she started doing the most outlandish combos I've ever seen. This dude was button mashing. Maka stood no chance. Crona put Maka on her knees and the devil starts trying to convince Soul to use the black blood. Soul wasn't going for it at first, and I'm not gonna blame him, cause why would you ever trust someone that looks like a devil? The reason he wasn't going for it was because if he used the black blood, Maka would get affected too. The devil starts yelling at Soul. He's like,
You really gonna die for a girl you're not even dating? She got you wrapped around her finger.
so you'd rather have me trust a nigga built like Montgomery Switchenbacher?
Nigga, who the fuck even is that?
They both cooled down, and the devil said he had a guest that was here for Soul. When he opened the door, we see that it's Maka. At first, Soul didn't believe him. He thought it was like a ploy, like he was trying to trick him. But it was really her. It just turns out when they were soul resonating, she has the ability to enter this room. It makes sense. They start slow dancing like they not about to get killed outside, and Maka starts telling him she wants to use the black blood. The devil starts smiling from long ass ear to long ass ear. Soul didn't want this to happen though, because if you remember, if you use the black blood, you will become insane. But Maka kept insisting. She's like, nigga gonna die. And Soul's like, bet, just be careful.
You're a donut! You're so stupid!
We get back to the fight and Crona is about to kill Maka, but Maka blocks the sword with her forearm, and what she does next is absolutely diabolical. Kid gets pretty far ahead and then gets hit with a bomb. He looks around and sees there's bombs placed everywhere. This causes him to tweak out because they placed the bombs with no symmetry. And you know how he gets. He starts giving up, so Patty presses him and forces him to continue. And they're doing everything they can to slow Kid down. Werewolf guy starts to realize Kid is getting past the bombs, so he started doing another plan. We cut back to Maka and she's still beating the shit out of Crona, but the black blood is making her even crazier, and Soul's trying his hardest to hold on. We see the real Maka flowing in the black blood, and she has a plan to connect with Crona's soul. Since they're both the same level of crazy, she thought it would work. Long story short, it did work. Soul saved her from the black blood, and when she came out, she just talked no juice her way into a dub. And I'm not gonna judge, even though I wanted like a clear winner and not no like talk no jutsu bullshit. I'm not really that mad at it. Let's go back to Blair the Baddies fight real quick. The 5 mouse witches come down and they combine and they turn into, well, this. And Blair also turns into a bad bitch. And the guy that's stuck under all that rubble, he's having the time of his life. This fight is really just gooner bait. I just wanted to show y'all it. We're not even gonna talk about it anymore. It's over. The werewolf pulls up on Kid and they start fighting. And during that fight, Kid realizes his guns and bullets do not work on him. So he kicked it up a notch. He used soul resonance and, oh man, them bitches tough. He fired it, still did no damage. But then Blackstar catches up to Kid and he says, you know what, let me handle him. So he starts fighting him with his knife. And they see when Blackstar swiped his knife, it went straight through him. And right away, Kid realizes this nigga's a hologram. But it was a little too late though, because by the time they realized it, they already reached the door of the Kishin. When they opened the door of the Kishin, a whole bunch of wind came and it blew right past them. They were scared. I would have been scared too, because I don't know what to expect. They walk in and then Iruka, immediately she gets hit with the meanest genjutsu. First, she starts seeing this little like bug thing with like 3 eyes and 2 arms. It stops her in her tracks. She was scared. She was about to shit her pants. Then she tried to run back to the werewolf to get help, you know, because like she don't want to be here by herself. But then another one was on the little pillar and that one scared her too. But this time it felt like somebody was behind her. So she looked back and nobody was there. She had a little sigh of relief. She was like, damn, I'm just tweaking. And when she turned back around, the Kishin was right in front of her. Dripped the fuck out. That nigga was snapping. And he just starts choking Iruka out. The werewolf keeps walking. He doesn't even notice what's happening to Iruka right now. And the Kishin lifts up his mask and we see these nasty ass teeth. Nigga, go see a dentist. Bro, his spit was yellow. Do you know how nasty your mouth has to be to make your spit yellow? He opens his mouth up and I'm talking about wide. That throat go. And he just chomps Iruka's face off. The werewolf hears her screaming and he turns around and runs towards her. She's crying, talking about her face is gone. Oh, my face, my face. He's like, what you talking about? Let me see your face. He gets down on one knee, takes off her hat to look at her face. When he sees her face, it's the Kishin. The Kishin barehanded put a hole through the werewolf's chest and then bit his neck. And when we get the glimpse of like actual reality, we see Iruka with a, what is that thing called where they use for vampires? A stake? She has a stake to her neck. And the werewolf he put himself in a guillotine. Then they come back to their senses and they drop it. They're like, what the hell are we doing? They look to their side and they see the bag holding the Kishin. and they just carried on with their job. Like none of that didn't just happen. And on my life, if I was Aruka or the werewolf, I'd rather deal with Medusa before I deal with whatever the fuck that was. Aruka starts throwing up her set and the syringe with the black blood starts filling up. But before she could give it to the Kishin, Kid busts through the door and tries to stop her. But the werewolf protects her. And then on top of that, when Kid tries to attack them again, the Kishin shows up. He's in the genjutsu. In Kid's eyes, he's seeing the Kishin holding him upside down and he's shooting him, right? But the people that are not high off of the Kishin pack, they see this. Damn, is that how we looked? I ain't gonna lie, I need a pack of that Kishin madness. Where the hell that bitch? Both Kid and the werewolf lock in and they break the genjutsu. Aruka makes her way to the Kishin and tries to revive him. Kid wasn't trying to let that happen, but the werewolf got in his way. Kid had a trigger finger though, he didn't care. He started blasting him, but the werewolf was just eating it like it was nothing. But then once again, the goat Blackstar shows up. He runs past Kid and the werewolf and he goes straight for Aruka. She summons a bomb and throws it at Blackstar. The bomb was strong enough to knock both of them off their feet. I don't know what she was thinking, that shit was stupid. The syringe with the black blood, even that fell out her hands. Blackstar instantly goes after her and he goes to try to break it. But right before he could do it, Aruka's ugly ass tadpole saves it. And Blackstar did exactly what I would have done. He started comboing him. And while he was doing that, Aruka ran towards the Kishin's bag and tried to put the syringe in there. Blackstar seen this and he started rushing towards her. Aruka's trying her hardest to put the syringe in, but it won't go in. And right before she could figure out why that was happening, Blackstar gets there and slashes the syringe. And just like that, my ghost saved the day. And to all y'all niggas that didn't vote for him in the poll I posted, fuck you.
The Kishin is reviving.
But we won, didn't we?
What you actually cut was the shrine sealing the bag.
It turns out Blackstar was put under the genjutsu and he cut the seal and he never ever broke the syringe. So obviously the whole time this has been happening, Medusa and Stein have been banging. Not like that, but they've been fighting, right? And it's been like a stalemate. It's back and forth. They're basically the same strength. But the moment the Kishin got revived, everything changed. Right here, they have each other on the ropes. You don't know who's gonna win this fight. And Stein, he's done playing around. He starts screaming. Then we see him lunge at Medusa and slice her in half. And all these arrows falling around, this is her blood. And I didn't show you all this, my fault, but during the fight, Stein went insane. Not like her insane, but like insane enough to want to kill her. And this is how he reacted when she died. Medusa's body does whatever this is, and it starts raining her blood. This man Stein took this as an opportunity to grab a Medusa pack and puff on that bitch. And right after he got done enjoying his smoke, he put his hands out like Baby Chief do it, and he started enjoying the raining blood. Professor Stein went Kanye West. Maka senses that the Kishin was revived, and she instantly rushed to the area. Aruka was right in front of the Kishin. Is her name Aruka or Erica? Because it's spelled with a U, but I heard people say Erica in the show. I'm gonna still call her Aruka, it don't even matter. The Kishin is trying to get used to walking and just using his body in general, because he's been sealed up forever. And he feels mad uncomfortable in his skin. Like, he starts doing some weird shit. He starts like squeezing it, and then he pulls it all the way. Like, how did he get up that high? And then it smacks back and it hits him. He gets on his knees, and he's right in front of Aruka now. He starts rubbing his eyes to get them to adjust, and then when he opens his eyes, he sees Aruka, and then instantly he starts screaming in front of her face. Aruka starts screaming too. She has no idea what's happening right now. And Blackstar, he got annoyed of it. He's like, what are you doing, bro? So he instantly attacked him. He hit him with an elbow to the back, and a whole bunch of souls came out. And it did no damage whatsoever. If anything, it made the Kishin look like he's high now. Blackstar tried attacking him again, but the Kishin just backhanded him slowly. And that little bit of contact was enough to put Blackstar out of commission. Death the Kid starts attacking him next. He pulls out his guns and he starts shooting at him. The Kishin stretches his skin and then flicks it at Kid. And just like Blackstar, it was more than enough to put him out of commission. The Kishin was tired of being naked. He felt weird, so he decided to make his own clothes out of his skin. He starts stretching it out and then starts spinning. And just like that, now he has skin clothes. It ain't the best look, so he leaves the chamber to go look for his actual clothes. And then Maka starts running in, and she was not ready to let him leave. So she grabbed onto a skin flap and just followed him up. The citizens are still enjoying the Blair fight. To them, this is probably the best anniversary party they've ever been to, and they realized shit got serious when the Kishin broke out the ground. Maka couldn't hold on, so Soul had to save her and catch her. Out of nowhere, these death-looking things starts chasing the Kishin. It bounds his legs and arms, but the Kishin breaks out of it pretty easily. Lord Death shows up, and now he's ready to fight the Kishin. He's like, "You not leaving, bro. You going back to where you came from." Lord Death starts to fight by smacking the shit out of the Kishin, sending him flying all the way down. The Kishin really wasn't phased by that attack. He got up all freaky and sent an attack right back at Lord Death. Lord Death countered that with an eye beam. I didn't even know he had that shit. The Kishin starts doing ninja hand signs and he summons 2 magic circles. He uses it to shoot at Lord Death, but Lord Death counters them pretty easily and just deflects it. Lord Death summons a big ass mask and tries to crush the Kishin with it. And even though the Kishin been asleep for so long, shit, you could tell he ain't never skipped leg day. He uses his leg to push it up and then just destroys it straight out. The Kishin tries to counter him instantly and he regurgitates the weapon he ate and tries to pierce Lord Death with it. Lord Death blocks it for a good amount of time, but eventually the Kishin breaks through and slices right through Lord Death. Lord Death tries to throw out one more attack, but the Kishin deflects it very easily. And then he took this time to just leave. He got tired of fighting. He said, "Yo, I'm out." And the Kishin was gone.